The Paul Leslie Interviews.
Our special guest is Joan Benedict Steiger. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Most stories are best from the beginning. What was life like growing up?
Well, I always think I had kind of a magical beginning. I was born in Brooklyn when my mother had 7 brothers and 2 sisters. And so my grandfather owned this large brownstone house, beautiful, in Park Slope next to Prospect Park. That's Brooklyn's, the park that's like Central Park. And it's a very beautiful area. And so I was the first grandchild, and at one time or another, one of the 7 uncles, or 5 or 6 of them, lived at this brownstone house. So I was kind of a special person there. With 7 uncles, it was like Christmas every day. And I started my dancing when I was 7, and I had my first recital at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. Started tap dancing and ballet dancing. When I was 9, my mother decided that if I wanted to be a dancer, she sent me off to Rome in Italy, and I was a student at the Rome Opera Ballet School. I spent a year and a half in Rome, and then my mother joined me. Then we went to Paris after that. I went to school in Paris for about a year. So I learned my languages. Returned to New York. I started my drama lessons when I was about 15. I used to commute from Long Island to New York City, and I had great teachers. And I soon discovered that tap was my forte. I just love tap. Today I tap dance 3 times a week, and I have never stopped my tap. I just love it so much.
Would you say that dance is your biggest passion?
Yeah, I would say really, because that was my first love. I started my drama lessons when I was 15, and I started acting in New York when I was 18.
The background that you have there, Rome and France.
Yeah.
How did that influence you?
Very much so. My mother was just a very, very forward-thinking woman. She was terrific. To this day, I always thank her. Especially when you're at that age, was perfect to learn languages, because we don't teach languages very early in this country. I did continue with my lessons when I came back, and there's just a certain something when you're young and you've traveled, and of course since then I've been back and forth many times with my husband Rod Steiger and my first husband, John Myers. So travel is a great educator. I think it just, for some reason, it adds some kind of a patina or something to you as a person.
Would you say that someone is born an actor, or is it something that you strive to become?
I would say that I saw my first movie when I was about 7. It was Top Hat with Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire. And I remember when the movie was over and I came out into the sunshine, I ran back in. I said, oh, no, that's where I want to be, in that world. No, I always had that inkling.
Our special guest is Joan Benedict Steiger. You currently live in Malibu. What is Malibu, California like?
It's paradise. Oh, well, I'm looking out at the sunshine right now. It just, even when the clouds come over, they last for about an hour, because it just doesn't dare to not be sunny here. It's just so gorgeous. It's like a sophisticated small town, because then you've got mostly theater people, entertainment people, and everything. It's just beautiful. I love it.
What has the experience of writing your memoirs been like?
I am trying to get together with some people to write my memoirs, because there's so much to tell. I'm a widow 3 times. from three fabulous men, all actors, writers, directors, everything. I always say in my, besides the big posters and memorabilia that I have from all the three men along with mine, I have just a garage full of, I always say, of 4 careers. It's just, my life has been just very exciting and very different from the start with my childhood. When we came back from Europe, and we did go to Florida for a while, and I finished my high school down there, my father was arranging for us to move to New York City on Park Avenue, and that for me to start my drama lessons. And he met with a terrible accident, so that changed things around, and we moved to Long Island. But then I commuted for my classes and everything. But life just changed. My memoirs, I need somebody to write with. The way I do it is to sit down with somebody at different sessions and talk with them, and then they take it down, and we go from there. Because the way I want the memoirs to be is the way I'm talking to you now, because I will be talking about one subject and one story, and then I say, oh, that reminds me of the time, when Rod and I were in Spain or something like that, and it goes back and forth, and it's very interesting. But I haven't found the right person yet to write it with. I could do it, but I hate writing, and it's the opposite of writer's block. I just can't stop writing, and I hate it. I hate it, and because I write in longhand. And I just can't wait to get out and get in my car and be out. I'm out every day, so.
What is the best thing about being Joan Benedict Steiger?
Well, you know something? I was thinking the other day, somebody said, well, if you come back, would you like to be the way you are or something else, or some improvements? And you know what? I really like being me. One thing about me is, and my friends say, I'm like the ever-ready battery. I just keep going. The best thing about me is I'm a positive thinker. I just love life. I just feel also that I was married to these 3 fabulous men. If I'm still the one that survived, I better be doing something worthwhile and something to be proud of. Not necessarily great, but at least a good person.
How would you answer the question, who is Joan Benedict Steiger?
Okay. Joan is the most positive thinker you've ever met, with a great big smile all the time, never complains. She is great to be with. I'm a great conversationalist, a great sense of humor, very big laugher.
If you could say anything to anyone who's listening, what would it be?
Whatever your dreams are, no matter, and your loves in life, what you want to pursue, don't ever let anybody steer you away from those things, but be sure that you are prepared to do what you're dreaming of. That means that whatever it takes for whatever occupation, get all the education you can, then pursue it with your whole heart, and you can do anything you want to do.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you, Paul. And you have a great day.